everybody, it's Safi and Marco, dish out on the movies. Today, as usual, Marco is still under the weather. And I am doing, reading his review of The Old Man. Season 2, Episode 8. And here we go. He's calling her Spider Freckle, and I've seen her, I'm just calling her Freckle Face. Immediately gave herself up to the invading Russians so she could try to save all the remaining townsfolk. She's separated from the town and held prisoner until she gives up all that she knows. She will tell them where the plot convenience cave from episodes 2 and 3 is. Conveniently, the guy guarding over her is the vulnerable soldier who misses his family and has a soft spot for her. After she gives them information, they want to know the names of problem people they should kill to make it an easy takeover. This is bizarre since they outnumber these people 10-1. Then Colonel Clink starts to have a breakdown because he's worried once Freckleface is returned with her people, they will resent her for turning on them. Unsurprisingly, Freckleface knocks out Colonel Clink and escapes. Oh, that is surprising. How predictable and lame. Somehow she manages to take out all the Russians in town with some unknown other townspeople. Very bizarre, I would agree. I have no idea what they thought how we, the audience, would so easily accept this. And this revolt was done out of nowhere and magically. I have no idea how these other townsfolk got guns and conspired with her to take back the town. What the hell? This is why the old man needed more than 8 episodes. SHIT like this. This would have been fully fleshed out and developed over 2 other episodes. Thankfully, Freckleface is not a Chinese spy. The ending of last episode was a fake-out. However, she is still role-playing as a Middle Eastern woman and leading a revolutionary army built out of thin air and plot convenience. Harold and his ex-wife had a spat about what to do about Freckleface. She is persuaded to help him and calls the oil cartel to tell them to ignore Demby and Zoe, the NPC, so they can go and talk to Salami Man for 15 minutes. Hopefully you're all familiar with Marco's nicknames for the characters. I've seen Freckleface, that's why I call her that. I was shocked after listening to her because my husband watches this show it's behind me, and I've heard about her this whole time, even last year, and I see her and I was shocked because I didn't know that before about freckles. Anyway, hilariously, when NPC woman asks what she can do, Demby tells her nothing. She is such a useless character at this point. And is NPC woman Amy, the Judge Amy? Oh, okay, well that figures. She is such a useless character at this point. I saw her at the very beginning of last year. I don't really watch this show, but every so often I'll take a look over there. And I saw that was Judging Amy. And I thought, I just don't think she's right for the show. Sorry. No offense. I just don't. And in here, Marco is saying she's a useless character at this point. After last episode with the shotgun moment, it's like, quote, biatch, you sit in the car while the man goes and handles things. Oh boy. End quote. This whole sequence feels like a video game mission, especially the 15-minute timer element. It's also funny how the oil cartel easily betrays Salami Man. I mean, if Salami Man survives, then how can he ever trust them again? They must have wanted him dead even after all he did to gain their trust back last episode. Very weird. Denby kills Salami Man and other guys off camera. I will complain here because so far in the finale of an action show, all the action has been off camera. There's no excuse for that now. Both the action sequences were with younger actors, and mostly all the action was still off screen. I don't know why they expect people to keep watching this show unless they're going to give us the goods. It's also cringeworthy because Salami Man asks, "Do you know who I am?" And Denby says, "You're the one who killed the old man." You know, as in the title of the show. And I'm the one who got you. I almost face-palmed at that line. Zoe, the NPC, gets in a Russian car and it has Dan's location on the GPS. She leaves without Denby. Yet again, she continues to be unlikable through her actions. As soon as Harold's ex-wife helps him, she gives him up to some of her men or something. LOL. This episode should be called Undoing Things. That's kind of like the last episode of that show I've been watching. I mean, like completely undoing everything. Because that's what they've done the whole episode so far. Zoe, the NPC, finds Dan passed out after he got through his last mission. She's on the phone with Denby. He asks her if she knows how to check his pulse. She says she can't tell if he's dead or alive. He then asks her if she's given him the antidote. She's so dumb that's not the first thing she does when she comes in there. She's got to be reminded by him. She's got to give him like 4 doses of the antidote. And she magically knows all the spots on his body to give him shots. Then that does nothing. She's got to give him CPR. They do the typical TV show / movie fake out where they make you think someone's dead while they're given CPR, and then all of a sudden, they wake up. But then suddenly Dan wakes up to his dream life with Zoe and his dogs. They are now happy together and taking a long break. Very bizarre. You can tell this is fake. They're wasting time now with this stupidity. We are forced to endure a long and meandering narration by Zoe, the NPC, around random bull you know what. This reminds me of American Horror Story Season 3, where every character got their own custom version of hell in the afterlife. Dan is upset because they left the world without answers to a million questions. He's basically a surrogate for the audience at this point. This whole hallucination feels unearned and disjointed. It's what's taken up most of the episode. Why would Dan fantasize about living the quiet life when he hasn't reunited with Freckleface or Harold? What you know, Freckleface magically shows up and meets with Dan and Zoe, the NPC, in a diner. What? This is so frustrating and strange. Why are they dragging this hallucination out for so long? If this isn't a hallucination,
it's not.
Harold's ex-wife is now the new villain of the show, and Harold is being held prisoner currently. Also, Freckleface isn't role-playing as a Middle Eastern woman anymore. She has turned into a different kind of monster. She is forcing Dan to go through with her master plan now to get Harold back. It feels like a dark ending. Dan says Parawana Hamzad gets whatever she wants. And she says, yeah, she does. Very sad and unsatisfying. Overall, this final episode was the biggest mind F of the year. Oh my. The transition in the middle of the episode was terrible. It did not feel real or genuine. The way they just jumped the gun because there weren't any bad guys left to fight at the moment. My God, there's always a bad guy. Unbelievable. Was so unsatisfying. Not to forget that the action on this action show finale was lackluster and off camera. This finale was somehow worse than last season's because at least last season's felt like a more straightforward story and a real finale. I'm obviously interested in season 3. God, I wouldn't be. But I'm still not happy with how they ended things here or the execution of their bizarre ideas. They dragged us along for the entire season with hardly any action, and it's a spy show too, which is no action in the spy show, really? Really? And then give us 5% of action in the finale. Very disappointing. Grade F. I will be back for a season 2 review in the near future. It is important to look back at the season now, knowing how it ends, and to evaluate if it was a good or bad overall season. Well, I'll tell you, if that episode was that bad, then that's the last thing you remember. And it's just like with anything else, a gymnastics performance, I'll use a sports analogy, or a skating performance. Person could skate perfect program, then they fall flat in their face. But that's the last thing you remember. And it says to me that it was a bad ending, bad episode, so that's the last thing to remember. What? Marco wants me to give my thoughts on the finale. I don't know if I could watch the show I'm watching. What's the name of that show? For some reason I keep... Grotesquerie. I had an interest in it. I'm a Chiefs fan. Travis Kelce is in the series. They did the same thing, but it's not a finale yet, according to what I could see on the upcoming episodes. But they had a whole lineup story going, and it seemed reasonable. Some few bizarre things here and there. And then the last episode, last week, they threw it up in the air and it fell splat all over the ground, bits and pieces everywhere, like somebody had a whole basket of tomatoes. Like tomatoes that you would pick or something. And they threw it up in the air and they fell to the ground in a crash. And there would be tomato pieces and juice and crap all over. That was the last episode I watched. So I've been, and the new episode for this week came out, and I could not bring myself to watch it yet because of what they did the last episode. So that's what this reminds me of. And it really, if that was the finale, that would have put a bad taste in my mouth. And I'll say Travis Kelce, he's done a really good job with what he had. He's not an actor, but he's, you never know, maybe he could be. But anyway, and Niecy Nash is in it, and she does an excellent job. But anyway, I have not been able to watch the next episode because of what they did. And that's what this episode, and a finale episode too, which is bizarre. Like Marco says, I haven't been able to bring myself to it, but I thought I might pick it up today after I do my chores. And I have to make quiche too. Chicken and broccoli quiche.
You asked to do that.
Yeah, I know. I don't mind that at all. I'm just saying that's what I'm going to be doing today. So anyway, that's it. So, even Marco's review, and I can't even believe it. I don't think I've ever watched the show again based on what he said, but that's up to you and that's up to him. Well, he's going to finish it, of course, finish all of his reviews of the season and all of that, but that sounds like a crappy. I just wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. But anyway, that's just me. And so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And and let's hope Marco gets well soon so he can do his own reviews, because I know you just love the color of his words, and the content is so much better when the real deal person is giving it. So that's it, everybody. So give it a thumbs up and become one of our subscribers, and have a good day. Go Chiefs. They play the Raiders. Goodbye, everybody.